Imagine I have a 1000-page novel with me where no characters die. In fact, new ones take birth. And every character has some important role to play in everyone else's lives. I take that book, that novel, break it into 10 parts. Definitely not of equal number of pages. As the volume progresses, the number of pages increase in each volume. And I make a deal with you. The deal is every day at 9 in the morning, I'll come, I'll give you a volume. I'll take away the previous day's volume, but before handing over the day's volume, I'll be asking you 5 questions pertaining to the previous day's volume, just to understand how much you have understood and how much you have grasped and all. Nothing serious. And the days go on, and someday you get volume 7. And as you are going through volume 7, you realize that you have forgotten some characters. You have forgotten about some incidents, and you are not able to connect with the previous volumes. Although you had an option of asking me for the previous volumes, but how would you? You did not even know that there was an option like that, because I never told you. So you did not know, and you did not borrow, and you decided to move on. And then you get volume 9. And as you're going through volume 9, you realize the problem has become quite grave now. You're not able to recollect a lot of things from the previous volumes. Perhaps you're angry, frustrated. But then what to do? So you decide to work hard from now onwards and be focused. So you take notes and all, and you do well for yourself with volume 9. And then the next day you get volume 10, the final volume. And you are still dedicated, and you are studying volume 10 very well. And on the next day, you know very well that I'll be taking a test. But this one is going to be a very serious one. Although the question will definitely be from the 10th volume, but the 10th volume is not independent, if you see, because it's actually a single novel that I broke into 10 parts. Now, wherever there is a reference of characters from the previous volume or some incidents from the previous volumes, you are not able to answer them well. So you beat around the bush. You try not to touch upon those incidents and all, and somehow you answer vaguely. And you know very well you have not done it well, but somehow you have no choice. That's the best you could have done with the amount of information and you had, and isn't maths actually this novel? Isn't maths a fact book that has been broken into 10 or 12 volumes, and each volume is being handed over to you every year? Don't believe me? Let's take an example here. Let's take an example of a class 10 student trying to solve a simple quadratic equation involving middle term break. Let's see the prerequisites. Let's see the knowledge, the terminologies the student has to know in order to solve that sum. Terms like coefficient, constant, product of constant and coefficient, which is nothing but multiplication, and then get the factors of those product, which is nothing but division, and then find two factors which will either by adding or by subtracting will give the middle term, and then take common, that is actually again division, and then again take common, this time with the brackets. And what? Compare the left hand side with right hand side to get two values of x. That means the student has to know that if one of the numbers is 0, then the product of those two numbers will also be 0. And leave the answer within curly brackets. That means the student has to know the difference between using a curly bracket and a first bracket. So 9 things a student has to know just to solve a 3-mark sum within 5 to 7 minutes. And the irony is, none of these 9 topics were taught in the last 1.5 years. Yeah. And you feel that a student is not doing well with a class 10 maths because the student did not work hard in class 10. What an irony. So what do you think? Is maths difficult or different?